Yeah.
What is happening, everyone? It is your boy Bitter, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look and comparing the Fortnite Mobile versus Call of Duty Mobile. Now, before I get into this video, I just want to state that all opinions in this video are of course my own. None of them are of anyone else's, and please, before you make judgment, take a look at some facts yourself, take a look at the games and play both of them. Have some time on them, and then you can decide yourself. So I'm going to take a look at multiple points in this video to make sure that it is fair. The first one is going to be the player base. Now, Fortnite Mobile broke crazy records with its player base on the initial download on launch day. It broke a staggering 60 million downloads on just the opening day alone. Now, compared to Call of Duty Mobile, those numbers are ridiculous. Call of Duty Mobile only managed to get 2 million downloads on release day. Now, those 2 million downloads, however, are strong. Those are 2 million dedicated players. However, that just gives you an idea of just how big Fortnite's player base really is. Now, what you've got to take into consideration with the player base is where these players are from. Now, although Fortnite Mobile currently has 250 million total downloads, and Call of Duty Mobile did catch up due to an incline of players on Fortnite Mobile. That was due to numerous reasons, one of them being the fact that the skill cap was increasing at such a rapid rate. Call of Duty Mobile currently sits at 130 million players. Now, these may not be completely active players because I have been stuck in a few lobbies on COD Mobile. However, I would say that it is pretty accurate compared to Fortnite Mobile, which is a lot of them are inactive and have moved on from Fortnite as the game has declined in popularity. Now, what we need to take a look at is where these players are from. Now, Fortnite has a 80% Western player base, which compared to COD Mobile, who has 90% of its player base from the Asia and Southern Pacific areas. Now, what this tells me is that it's not as popular, maybe the franchise isn't as popular in the West compared to other parts of the world. However, what it does tell me is perhaps it explains a lot as in popularity of views on YouTube, views on Twitch. I mean, Fortnite Mobile has a ridiculous amount of players that play it, and it's also linked to a massively popular game, Fortnite. So you get all these streamers that are playing Fortnite. Fortnite retained #1 position on Twitch for well over 2 years. Although it's staggering a bit now, I would say that Fortnite Mobile overall has a stronger player base than Call of Duty Mobile, just not in sheer numbers, but mainly the quality of player. Now, this takes us into the next point that I'd like to look into, and that is the mechanics of Call of Duty Mobile. Call of Duty Mobile's mechanics, although you can arrange the screen, is pretty much down to two fundamentals. That is your aim, and then it is your gameplay. Your gameplay being the position that you're in, and then your aim with the weapon of choice. Now, although that is not as simple as I've simplified it, I will say that Fortnite's mechanics are absolutely insane on mobile, and that is because of the small screen, and it's still the same quality as the full game. So you've still got to build ramps, stairs, you've still got to build floor, walls, and all of that on a small device means that the skill cap has increasingly got wider over time, leading to a lot of players feeling kind of alienated because you just cannot get a single kill on the game. Now, I just want to say that although the two games are completely different, because Fortnite became popular due to its mechanics, whereas Call of Duty has never been a mechanically driven game at a standard or amateur level. However, the standard level of the skill caps of the mechanics that's required for Fortnite Mobile is so much higher than it is on Call of Duty Mobile that it's kind of no comparison. So this brings me into how good are they going to last? What is the longevity of these games? Now, I think Call of Duty Mobile has a massive longevity. I feel like the development of the game is going to be coming all into action, but this is like comparing someone who has just built the foundations to which they're going to build their house on, and comparing it to an already built mansion super house. Because Fortnite has already established its base, it's already built its player base, it's already built its franchise, and Call of Duty Mobile is just doing that. And when I say they're just doing that, there's not even zombies that have come out into it. There's no perks on certain things. There's no game modes. There's not even all the maps that people love are out yet. So I feel like once they release a few more things, I feel like the player base and the game and the longevity of it is going to be way more clear than its current state. However, I do know that players are getting bored of having to wait for these updates. Although the updates are coming in weekly, they're just not big enough. They're drip feeding their player base in Call of Duty Mobile, which is turning the player base off. Now, this is the opposite of what happened to Fortnite. Fortnite was weekly updates, weekly challenges, weekly changes, weekly live events. Now, what they did right was this was consistent over a few years. However, recent years have led us to being fed up with just nothing happening. The changes, the development, the delay in the seasons starting, no one really knows. And for someone who is so well developed as a franchise, it's kind of shocking. And speaking of franchises, this is my next point. Call of Duty is the grandfather of franchises. It's been around for 10 years. It's established itself over 14 game titles within the same universe of Call of Duty. Now, none of them are half as successful as some of them in particular, such as Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops, COD 4. However, they're still breaking records on every release. Regardless of what people will say about the games, whether you enjoy them or not, it is a popular franchise. However, what they have managed to do in 10 years, I feel like Fortnite did in 6 months. And that was majority down to players picking it up, such as big streamers like Ninja and Tim the Tatman and Dr. Lupo and Tfue and FaZe and all these players picking up this game. And I felt like that led to the popularity that we have today and the popularity that we love and just have come to be obsessed with. However, that doesn't mean that the franchise of Call of Duty is worse off than Fortnite. I would just say that its audience is simply completely different. Although they are shooter games, one of them is a Battle Royale, and although Call of Duty has dabbled in Battle Royale and has a Battle Royale mode, it's just not the same, because people play Call of Duty for predominantly the search and destroy maps, the classic multiplayer maps, the classic multiplayer gameplay, and Fortnite, they do not want that. You want an open world, you want to know certain parts of the map, you know where you go, you want to loot, you want to get kills, you want to do squads. It's just a completely different franchise. But I will say that in terms of microtransactions and longevity of the franchise, Fortnite is miles ahead of Call of Duty. The microtransactions in Fortnite are nothing to be compared to. They make what Call of Duty makes on a release day in a month on microtransactions, so it's nothing to be compared to. However, I will say that both of them are well established and they both have their own perks and their own disadvantages in their own rights. So this is going to lead us on to the competitive side of the games. Now, Fortnite is a well-established competitive game, just as much as Call of Duty. However, the mobile versions are in different leagues. Fortnite Mobile has recently announced that it's going to be having a 100 million tournament for the 2020 Fortnite World Cup. Now, this is not 100% confirmed, but it is announced, and that is already one step ahead of Call of Duty. Call of Duty has always had smaller prize pools, and when I say smaller prize pools, I don't just mean a couple of thousand. I'm talking a couple of million, as in tens of millions. Call of Duty will probably have a prize pool of 1 million, just like COD XP, and Fortnite is going to 100 times that. So the competitive side is nowhere near, and I think Call of Duty is going to rely on heavily these teams making teams on COD Mobile. So you need people like FaZe, Optic, you need 100 Thieves, you need Cloud9, you need these people to have teams on the game. And if that doesn't happen, which I highly doubt it will happen because it's just not there, and it's a lot of money to pump into something with such a low prize pool, whereas Fortnite will have that, and teams are already committed to it, and teams are already well established, such as 100 Thieves. So that is already completely different in question. Now, In terms of usage, I just wanted to say this in this video. They both use up the equal amount of power. However, I will say that Fortnite is way more difficult to play on an iPhone, and Call of Duty is definitely multi-device. If you try and play Fortnite on your iPhone, I can guarantee there's going to be issues. So just keep that in mind. So my overall opinion of Fortnite versus Call of Duty is, I'd say that Fortnite is more of an established game. However, all these perks, these advantages, and I find myself picking up Call of Duty Mobile more than Fortnite. In fact, I uninstalled Fortnite Mobile because the skill cap is too high. No one wants to play it anymore, and it's just not sustainable to a casual gamer who, when he's sat on the train, when he's sat on the bus, when he's got a spare minute of his day, he just wants to jump on something really quick, get his quick fix, and jump off. And Fortnite doesn't offer that, and I feel like that needs to change for it to be more sustainable. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, guys. I've put a lot of research into this, and I actually had to redo this 3 times. So I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you're having a great day. For now, it's been your boy Bitter. Much love, everyone, and peace.